Welcome to Royal Daily Report, bringing you the royal stories that mainstream media won't show you. I'm your host, and today we have footage they tried to hide. A moment so revealing it exposes the truth about Harry and Meghan's crumbling marriage. This is Royal Daily Report, where we show you what really happened. Have you ever seen a moment so small, yet so powerful that it changes everything? That's exactly what happened when Meghan Markle walked onto that stage uninvited, unwanted, and completely out of place. Harry was mid-speech, microphone in hand, when Meghan slipped in behind him. She tapped him on the back, forcing him to acknowledge her. For a second, the cameras caught Harry's startled glance as if he'd forgotten she was even there. But here's the shocker. Harry didn't hand her the mic. This might sound trivial, a husband choosing not to share the microphone with his wife. But remember, in the past, Harry would always give Meghan the spotlight. He once even begged an announcer to pass her the mic, only to be laughed off. This time was different. This time, Harry held on tight. And in that one decision, the power dynamic shifted before everyone's eyes. The reaction in the room told the story even louder than Harry's silence. No applause, no cheers, no acknowledgement. Meghan stood awkwardly beside him, waiting for the crowd to react. But the crowd didn't. She had barged in on his moment, and instead of adoration, she was met with cold indifference. And when the silence grew unbearable, Meghan stormed off stage. But if you turned on the television the next morning, you wouldn't have known any of this happened. Mainstream outlets plastered glossy still images of Meghan smiling on stage. Carefully cropped photos made it look like a loving couple hand in hand, presenting a united front. But what they didn't show was the video. Meghan's intrusion, her rejection, her walk of shame. Make sure to subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now. We show you the footage mainstream media hides. The footage exists, yet the press refused to release it. Why? Why protect Meghan from the truth? Why tell the world one story while hiding another? Because if the public saw what really happened, it would be impossible to deny. The cracks in Harry and Meghan's marriage are now on full display. And those cracks go far beyond one awkward stage moment. Behind the curtain, a bigger tug-of-war is playing out. Harry's role in the royal family is more confused than ever. Officially, he's no longer a working royal. He's been stripped of his military titles. On paper, he's just another celebrity. But in Ukraine, when Harry appeared at government events, he was addressed as His Royal Highness. Here's the detail most people missed. Ukraine didn't make that decision on its own. The protocol in state events is strict. If they use the style His Royal Highness, it means someone in Buckingham Palace approved it. So, while the headlines scream that Harry is out, the palace's actions tell a different story. And that's where things get even stranger. Some reports say Harry will have a public engagement with King Charles in 6 years. Little years, a timeline so oddly specific that it raises more questions than it answers. Is the palace stringing along the public? Are they deliberately keeping the Sussexes relevant, marketable, and financially afloat by hinting at a reunion that may never come? The confusion is no accident. One day, the press claims Harry is half in, half out. The next day, they insist he's permanently cut off. The narratives flip so often that no one knows what to believe. And in that fog of contradictions, Meghan continues to play her role. The woman who walks on stage when she isn't supposed to, who smiles for the cameras while being shunned in real life, who survives because the media insists on showing only the flattering angles. But for Harry, the truth is harder to hide. Holding that microphone wasn't just about controlling a speech, it was about controlling his image. For the first time, Harry chose not to hand Meghan the spotlight. For the first time, he stood on stage without her voice overpowering his. And that moment captured on video but hidden from the world may be the clearest sign yet that Harry and Meghan's fairy tale partnership is fracturing. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report for the complete truth. Hit that subscribe button now. What happened on that stage wasn't just a public embarrassment. It was a window into the war brewing behind closed doors. Because when Meghan stormed off, Harry didn't follow. He didn't chase after her. Didn't try to soothe her ego in front of the cameras. That silence told its own story. For Meghan, used to being the center of attention, this was more than humiliation. It was betrayal. And when the cameras cut off, the real fireworks began. Sources close to the couple suggest Harry was fuming that Meghan tried to steal his moment. This wasn't just about a microphone. It was about a marriage where one partner constantly overshadows the other. Meghan has made a habit of forcing herself into spaces where she wasn't invited, knowing no one would dare stop her in public. But this time, she miscalculated. Harry's refusal to hand her the mic wasn't just a slip, it was a statement, a quiet rebellion. And Meghan doesn't take rebellion lightly. Behind the scenes, she reportedly demands control even over their children's future. Harry once dreamed of sending his children to school in the UK, perhaps even at Eton, where generations of royals have been educated. Meghan, however, has blocked the idea at every turn, not just out of personal preference, but with conditions attached. According to whispers, she insists on substantial compensation before even considering allowing the children near the UK. It's a power play that keeps Harry trapped between two worlds, his birthright family and the family he built with Meghan. This isn't the behavior of a supportive partner. It's the behavior of someone determined to control the narrative, even if it means holding the children as bargaining chips. And now, for the first time, Harry seems to be resisting. But Meghan's troubles don't end at home. On stage, her carefully crafted image is falling apart. She arrived dressed in what should have been an elegant designer gown, yet somehow managed to make it look cheap, wrinkled, and awkward. Buttons undone almost to the navel, spray tan overdone. Instead of glowing, she appeared desperate. And when she forced herself beside Harry, expecting applause, what she got instead was silence. No claps, no cheers, just blank stares. Worse still, after her awkward intrusion, organizers quietly made sure she was kept on the sidelines. It was a subtle but brutal demotion. Meghan, once front and center, was now benched. For a woman who thrives on the spotlight, being ignored is the deepest cut of all. And it showed. Witnesses noticed the way she smiled, that big, forced grin that stretched across her face like a mask. Behind it, her eyes burned with anger. It's a pattern Meghan has displayed before. When mocked, when shunned, she keeps smiling, but the smile never reaches her eyes. The message was clear. Meghan's attempt to shine had backfired. Meanwhile, the wider press keeps muddying the waters. One day, they report Harry is making a grand return, possibly standing beside Charles within 6 years. The next, they declare him permanently cast out. These contradictions aren't just sloppy journalism. They serve a purpose: to keep the Sussex brand alive. To keep the public hooked, to stretch out the question of are they in or are they out for as long as possible. Why 6 years? Why not 3 or 5? Because 6 years is just long enough to dangle the promise of reconciliation, long enough to keep book deals, Netflix shows, and speaking engagements flowing. If people believe Harry might rejoin the royal fold, they'll keep paying to hear his story. It's the same game that's been played before. Think of Sarah Ferguson. Once divorced and disgraced, she managed to stay close enough to the royals to keep her privileges. Decades later, she's still living at Royal Lodge, rent-free, her connections intact. Being half in, half out is not new, and the palace knows it. So, while the media pretends Harry and Meghan's future is uncertain, the truth is simpler. Meghan continues to push herself into places she's not welcome, and Harry, at least for now, is starting to push back. The carefully staged photos may suggest unity, but the footage tells the real story: indifference, rejection, and a marriage under siege. And as the cracks widen, the fallout is impossible to ignore. What happens in private after such public humiliation? What words are exchanged when the cameras go dark? When Meghan confronts Harry about holding on to that microphone, that's where the next part of this story begins, with a war no one is supposed to see. The lights may have dimmed on that stage, but the real drama began the moment Meghan walked off, because behind closed doors, the fallout was brutal. Harry, sources say, was furious. Furious that Meghan had barged in, furious that she had tried once again to steal the spotlight. And Meghan, she was equally enraged. Not because the crowd ignored her, but because Harry himself had, in her eyes, Harry had committed the ultimate act of betrayal. He had denied her the microphone. For Meghan, the microphone isn't just a piece of equipment. It's power. It's validation. It's her ticket to being heard and seen. For Harry to hold it firmly in his hand and refuse to pass it over was more than a snub. It was a declaration, a reminder that on that stage, it was his voice that mattered, not hers. This silence is not accidental. It's strategy. The palace knows that words can be twisted, but actions speak louder. And the actions show something remarkable. While Meghan struggles to cling to relevance, Harry is still quietly acknowledged as a royal, still treated with the respect Meghan cannot command. That silence leaves Meghan exposed. Every time the media prints a glowing headline, the footage tells another story. Every time Meghan forces her way onto a stage, the cold indifference of the audience undermines her act. And every time Harry holds that microphone, refusing to let it go, the world sees who truly has the power. So, where does this leave Harry and Meghan? In public, they'll continue the act. Smiles, hand-holding, photo ops, but the truth is written in their actions. Harry no longer hands her the microphone. Meghan no longer commands the room. And the cracks in their once carefully staged fairy tale are widening into chasms. Meghan's ultimate betrayal wasn't against the monarchy. It wasn't even against the press. It was against Harry himself. On that stage in front of the world, she revealed that she would rather embarrass him than let him stand alone. And in the end, that may be the very thing that breaks them apart. That's all for today's revealing episode of Royal Daily Report. The microphone incident exposed the truth about Harry and Meghan's marriage that mainstream media tried to hide. If this story opened your eyes, subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now so you never miss the truth behind the royal headlines. Hit that like button, share this video, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm your host, and this has been Royal Daily Report, showing you the footage they hide and the truth they deny. Until next time, stay informed.